It was always going to be difficult for Chelsea to go away from home to the European champions in the first leg of their quarter-final European tie, and it seems like it's just been a little bit too much for them. Join me as we go through some of the major talking points and discuss the game in a little bit more detail. Please like the video and subscribe, it really would mean a lot to me. But now, let's talk about Chelsea playing against Real Madrid in the Champions League quarter-final. The game ended Real Madrid 2, Chelsea 0, and really it was a comfortable game in the end for Real Madrid, who didn't really have to get out of second gear for most of the match. If we have a look at the attacking momentum bar here, we can see that they really dominated in the first half. Chelsea, yes, had a couple of chances, but nothing really too crazy. And then in the second half, the red card happens, and really the game is put to bed. Madrid could have gone after it and really killed the tie, however they didn't. And it does leave it open somewhat for Chelsea going into the second leg, playing at home. It does give them some form of chance, but I mean really, Madrid didn't need to do all too much in this. I was very impressed by the likes, of course, Modric and Valverde. Valverde is an absolute monster of a player. If we just have a look at his just all-round work rate, I mean, look at this. He covers almost every blade of grass. This is absolutely incredible. When we consider the fact that he's so mobile, he's so agile, and he has the ability to really compensate for the lack of mobility that both Kroos and Modric have. It just allows them to focus on their own game, their passing game. And like I said, it just became very, very simple and very easy for Real Madrid, who utilised Vinicius Jr. a lot. Rodrigo, I didn't really thought got into the game all too much. I thought he failed to really penetrate through the lines. And although he did find himself in some good areas, he was muscled out of the ball a couple of times. So overall, I wasn't too impressed with that. But Vinicius Jr. ran ragged Reece James and Wesley Fofana, who had a torrid time together. Reece James didn't know whether he should be keeping up and pressing. He didn't know when to drop back to make a 5 with Wesley Fofana. He didn't know when to pick up the likes of Vinicius Jr. to help out Fofana. And really, it was just a bit of a mess. Thiago Silva trying to pull back and cover Fofana, who was being absolutely torn apart. I would have expected Kante to just come and cover a little bit, or perhaps just for the Chelsea side to drop that little bit deeper, just to allow the lack of penetration in behind, but they didn't do it. Ben Chilwell obviously got his red card, and that really sealed the deal for Chelsea in the Bernabeu. However, there is a chance. It is still only 2-0. And while it is only 2-0, Chelsea do have an opportunity. But of course, they can't really score. And that's down to the fact that they don't really have a striker. Joao Felix isn't really a striker. We've been talking about this for quite some time now. And Raheem Sterling really fails to get on the ball. They just seem to be lacking so much confidence. And we can see that in Sterling's game. He picks up the ball and he tries to drive at people. But he loses most of his duels. He only won 2 out of his 9 ground duels. And that's just not good enough, if I'm completely honest. Joao Felix did what he could, yes, but even then he had a limited amount of touches. He won 2 out of his 4 ground duels. He did better aerially, but really, Chelsea just needs so much more to be able to hold up the ball. They failed to do that, which meant that the ball kept coming around. Recycling of possession was too easy for Madrid. And while I did like this midfield 3, I thought Kante was fantastic at the start of the game. He really took it to Madrid, and the energy really started to overwhelm them in the beginning of the match. That being said, it really did start to settle down, and then Madrid started to play their game. Kovacic and Fernandes lacked the mobility and the ability to come with Kante, the ability to really drive with him and move Chelsea up the pitch. Overall, Chilwell and James just looked a little bit lost, if I can say that. Chilwell didn't know whether to go up or down, neither did Reece James, and it just left these three centre-backs, so isolated at times. Madrid were able to break the lines, and it just looked like a system that wasn't particularly well coached, and you can see that in the average positions. And if we see these positions, these are the Real Madrid players, obviously, and really, this is very, very good. You have your 2 main centre-backs, you have your left-back, you have your right-back, you have your front 3, and then you have your midfield 3, obviously, of course, Modric and Valverde. Valverde covering almost every blade of grass, like we said. But if we contrast this into Chelsea's formation, we can see what I was talking about with the space in between the lines. So these are the 3 centre-backs, and there seems to be just a gap between them and the midfield, and then an even greater gap between the strikers and the midfield themselves. And yes, the spacing in between the players are fine, but really Chelsea aren't compact enough. That's not compact. You're not pressing into the pitch. You're not making sure that the enemy or the opposition have a difficult time transitioning the ball through your lines. And really, when we compare this to the Real Madrid side again, look at how compact they are. Look at how far up they're pushing. Look at how close everyone is to each other. And that's because of their movement and their willingness and their pressure off the ball to try and make sure that they can recycle possession well. The spaces are too great in this Chelsea side, and it screams of a side that doesn't really know what it's doing. Its leadership is gone, and it's not sure whether it should be going or not. Finally, let's have a look at the statistics, because really, like I said, it was a pretty easy game for Real Madrid. 2.29 XG, 57% possession, and really every stat in favour of them. Was there really anything that we can say in a positive light at Chelsea? Well, we can say that they ended the game having it be only 2-0, and perhaps in the second leg something at Stamford Bridge might be able to go for them, something might be able to go their way, but they're going to need to score goals, and they've been struggling with that for quite some time. 5.5 hours, I believe, that they've gone without a goal, and 2-0 to Madrid. It could have been worse, but Chelsea should count their blessings that it didn't get worse, and Benzema didn't really have a great game, neither did Vinicius. They still ended up winning the game. Chelsea, if I'm completely honest, were outclassed a little bit, and they need to really pick up the pace and understand how they should be playing the game, both from a defensive point of view and how they're going to get something out of it from an offensive point of view, because if they don't, they're going to whimper out of this tie in a pretty shameful manner. Like I said, the game ended Real Madrid 2, Chelsea 0. Just need to see more from those Blues. That's it for today, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave the video with a like and subscribe if you haven't, for more content like this coming very soon. If you're a Chelsea fan that's feeling a little bit down at the moment, I'm sorry, but hopefully this has made you feel a little bit better just talking about what went on during the game. Please hit that notification bell as well. You don't want to miss what's coming up in the near future, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on the game and whether you think Chelsea can get anything out of the second leg coming up in the near future. I would love to hear from you, so please do get in touch. But like I said, that's it from me for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.